Hey everyone, let's talk a little bit about our writing plan. This is our second big assignment for this week. This and our annotation, which I have another video posted talking about that we can review as well. This is like the second big step towards our final paper. We did our writing notes last week, and now we are kind of progressing that thought process a little bit with our writing plan. And I am in MindEdge. Remember, we have information in MindEdge about all of our assignments, the rubric, as well as some leading prompts. For our writing plan, what we want to do is think about some of the stuff that we presented in our notes, the argument, key points, audience goal, potential resources, evidence, but also some new ideas as well, our thoughts on feedback and revision. So what we want to do is revisit the notes that we had, as well as the comments that I may have left on them, and kind of work them together to progress these ideas a little bit further. Now, occasionally this can feel a little bit repetitive, but by revisiting our notes, we can transition them with some of the research that we've done so far, some of the thinking, some of the brainstorming, some of the conversations that we may have had, and move a step forward and more fully develop our plan of action. Now remember, in MindEdge we have access to our rubric, but we also have it in Brightspace as well. As with most of our assignments in MindEdge, we have some leading prompts. We want to make sure we are answering each of these prompts with a full paragraph of 5 to 8 sentences. And we're just going to do what we did with the notes and go through what these questions are. As we did with the notes, we wanted to present what our argument was. Now, consider some of the comments that I left on your feedback, or if you've done some more brainstorming. What is your argument? What argument will you be addressing in your persuasive essay? And explain how it is connected to your major. Again, it can be a little bit of repetitive, but we don't want to just copy and paste from our previous assignment. Let's refine our ideas, give it a little bit more thought, maybe add a little bit more detail. Number 2, what are our key points to support our main argument? Have they changed? Have you tweaked them a little bit? Maybe you got rid of one as we thought a little bit more about our topic. Remember, we need to have 3 possible key points to support our argument. Again, who is your audience? Remember, it's not just me. We really want to be aware of who our audience is because it dictates how we talk to them. You're going to talk to an audience of English professors a little bit different than you might talk to an audience of teenagers, for example, and what challenges you might have in supporting that specific demographic. 4 is, what are your goals? What do you hope to accomplish with this argument? Has that changed at all? Maybe tweak it a little bit, maybe add more detail. As you've thought more about your topic and you've done a little bit of research, maybe your goal has changed a little bit. So let's re-represent what our goal is. And as a reminder, after we do type in our answers here, we want to make sure that we are submitting each one of these responses to our MindEdge notebook. Number 5, what are our potential resources that we will be using? We've done a little bit of research this week. What resources will you be using? Maybe connect with our annotations and explain how those specific articles are going to reinforce our argument. Be sure to make a connection in number 6. Which of your key points align to which resource that you will be using? Number 7, let's make sure that we kind of describe where integrating evidence would be most effective. Has this plan of action changed at all? Now that you've done a little bit of research and you've thought a little bit more on your key topics, where we want to put this evidence. Do we want to put some in the introduction, in our conclusion, or do we want to keep it to the main body of our text? Now, number 8 is where we get into a little bit of new territory. What revision strategy do you think is most effective while we're writing? Remember that we will go through the writing process, brainstorming, researching, doing a plan of action, composing a first draft, and revising it to a final draft. What type of revision strategy is effective for you? For example, I do really well with peer evaluations. I like hearing what my peers think about my writing. Maybe that's not your best plan of action. Maybe you have an outside resource review it, or maybe you submit to the SNHU OWC. Another really good plan of action for revisions is reading that draft out loud. Is that something that you do? What revision strategy do you think is most effective in your writing process, and why? Give us a full paragraph there. And then 9, we have a little bit of a discussion on feedback. How does feedback, either from myself, from the SNHU OWC, or from your peers, how is feedback valuable? I know that it can be uncomfortable to get feedback, but how can we use it to improve our writing? And again, make sure that we are clicking the submit button for each of our paragraphs that we are filling in here. And then again, this is a dual submission, so we want to make sure that we click download that Word document and then upload that Word document into Brightspace, which I will show you in just a minute. I want to take a quick minute to look at our rubric. Remember, our rubric is available both here in MindEdge. There's my fan. I apologize that it is loud. But also we have it in our Brightspace area as well. We do have a concise definition, if you will, on what is due here, a summary for our assignment, and then we have our critical elements. Again, we have exemplary, proficient, needs improvement, not evident. We really want to strive for proficient. Do you describe your argument and how it's connected to your major field of interest? What are your key points? Who is your audience? What is your goal? Do you list your resources and provide brief descriptions of each? Do you connect those resources to your key ideas? How and where do you think integrating your evidence will be effective? What feedback do you think would be valuable, and how could you integrate feedback into your writing process? And what is your best plan for revision? What revision tactic works best for you? And then again, we have our good old friend, articulation of response. Is your writing free of errors in terms of citations, grammar, spelling, all that good stuff? If you ever have any questions on the rubric, connect with me. I'll be happy to walk you through it. And then let's click on course menu, go to assignments, and this is going to give us a list of our assignments that are due throughout the term. We are on 3-6 already. Click on it, it will open up your writing plan submission page. Remember, we have our rubric available here as well. We try to be as transparent as possible. Scroll down, and then you can click add file. If you have a specific comment or question, you can post it there, and then do be sure to hit submit. Okay. And then that is our writing plan. If you have any questions, let me know. Hang in there. I know it's a lot of information to take in. If you have any questions, connect with me, post them on the general discussion forum, or we can also talk with the SNHU OWC. Hang in there. We're almost halfway through the term. You totally got this. You're doing great.